Hello friends, welcome to Code Crush Coding. In this video, we are going to learn one of the most important concepts in C++, that is variables. So a variable is like a container that stores a value. For example, a value can be a number or text. Okay, to store that particular value, we will need a variable. Think of it like a box with a label. So you have a box and you are going to name that box, and inside that box you are going to store some values. So whenever in programming you need that value, you are going to make use of that variable. So in the code, how to write a variable? So the syntax to declare a variable is, so here you need to provide a type. So what is a type? Type is basically the value type that is being stored inside a variable. So first you need to provide a type, then the name of a variable. So the name of variable can be anything, and then you need to provide this assignment operator and then the value of that particular variable. So here the most important thing is type. So in C++, there are different type of variables defined with different keywords. For example, so basically these are some of the types of the variable. So the variable can be int. Int is used to store integer without decimals. Okay, without decimals. For example, 123 positive, also negative 123. Then we have a double data type that is used to store the floating point numbers with decimal. So if you want to store a decimal, then you need to make use of double. Then there is another type called char. So it is used to store a single character such as a or uppercase a or anything in the lowercase, right? Anything you can store with the help of char, but a single character, and it should be surrounded with a single quote. Then we have a string. It is used to store text such as hello world. So any text can be stored with the help of string data type, and string values are surrounded by a double quotes. Then the last data type that we have is bool. So that is used to store values with two states, true or false. So basically this boolean have only two values, true or false. So we will see in the demo how to declare a variable, how to assign the values to a variable. So we already seen the syntax here. First we need to provide a type. So the type can be any of this: int, double, char, string, bool, then the name of variable, and then the value. Create a file here. So I will say here for variable. You can name it anything as per your choice, variable.cpp. So this is my file here. Now first I will have the header files here. So I will say here hash include iostream. Then we will say here using namespace standard, then end it with a semicolon. Then the main function we need to provide here, which is our int main, round brackets, opening and closing curly brackets, and here we will say return 0. Now here I need to declare a variable. So first I need to provide a type. Okay, so let's say I want to store a number. So to store a number, there is a type called int, right? Here we have seen int. We don't want to store a decimal, so I will make use of int here. So here I need to say int. So see, there is a keyword called int. So we need to make use of this particular int here. So I will say here int, then the name of variable. So the name of variable, you can provide anything as per your requirement. So here I am going to store a number. So I will just provide a name as number. Okay. So this is my variable here. So this is how you declare a variable. Okay. So I will provide here a comment. This is variable declaration. So this is a variable declaration. Now I need to assign a value to this variable called number. So I will say a number, which is our variable here. This is number. So I am going to say number is equal to, let's say, 10, and end it with semicolon. So now here we have declared the variable, and here we have assigned a value to a variable. Okay, value assigned. So here we are assigning the value to a variable. Now what we will do, we will print this variable. So how to print? With the help of cout, insertion operator, and now I will just say a number. So and end it with a semicolon. So what will happen now? First we have declared a variable called number. Then we have assigned the value 10 to a variable number. So what is this? So variable is like a box, right? So this particular number is like a box, and inside that box we have stored the value 10, and now here we are referring to that box and saying print the value of that particular box. So basically printing the value of that variable. Now if I right click here and say run code, so here we are getting the message as 10 because the value of this particular variable number is 10. Now here we have used two lines, right? First we have variable declaration and then we have assigned the variable. So instead of that, what you can do in the single line also, you can assign the value. Let's say now I assign the value as 15, and now what I will do, I will comment out this part. So we don't need this particular line, right? Because we have already assigned the value as 15 and then we are printing it. So if I run this code now, so see we are getting here 15. So whenever you know that the value of a variable, so you can directly assign on a single line. If in some code, if you are not sure what will be the value, you can assign it later also. So in this way, you can assign the values to a variable. Now let's say first I assign the variable value as 15, and then on the second line I change the variable to 10 again. Okay. So now what will be the output here? So first the value 15 is assigned to the variable. Then on line number 6, the value gets updated to 10. So now inside the number there is a value 10, and then it will print here 10. If I run this code, we will get here 10. See, we are getting here 10. Now let's declare another variable types also. So we have seen about int. Now let's say I want to have a string. So what I need to say here? I need to say a string type. Then the name of variable. Let's say name is the name here of variable, and then I need to provide some text. So let's say John. So John is the name. So remember, we need to surround the string with a double quotes, right? See, string values are surrounded by a double quote. So we need to surround it with a double quote here. So I will say a string John. In this way, I have declared the variable of type string. And one more variable we will declare here. Let's say of type double. So double will be used to store a decimal values, right? So double. And let's say the name is of a variable is height. Let's say the name is John of a student and its height is 6.0. This is the value I am going to assign. So this is my decimal value for this double type of variable. And now let's change the name of number to age. So let's say, let's give it name as 20. Okay, so this is my value here. So now we have declared three variables here, right? Age, name, and height. And they are of different types. First is of type integer, then we have type string, then we have type as double. We will cover in detail about all these data types in our upcoming videos. But now here we are just going to learn about how to declare variables and how to assign the values to them. Now here we don't have a number variable, so that's why it's giving us error. Now I want to print all this. So I will say here cout age, then I will print here cout name, and then I will print here cout height. These are my three variables. Let me save the code, run now. So see, we are getting a 20, then John, then 6. So I need to make use of endl to have them on the new lines, right? But let's say I want to print a message like this. John is 20 years old and height is 6. That I want to print in a single line. So how I can do this? So I just need to make use of one cout here. Okay. So first I need to print here John. Okay. So John is stored inside this variable name. So I will print the name. Then I need to do what? Then again, I need to print here a message. So to any text, we need to surround it with a double quote, right? So here I need to say John is, then I need to say 20. So 20 is stored inside a variable called age, right? So John is 20. Then again, I need to say years old. So I will print here 20 years old and height and height is, and what is the height? 6, and that is stored inside a variable height, right? So I will say here height. So this is my entire cout statement. See, because these values are already available inside a variable, so we can directly print them with the help of a variable. And the text that I am having additional here, then I need to make use of insertion operator. So how is the flow here? So first it will print name, then each, then age, years old and height is, and then the value inside a height variable. Now let's see whether it works. Let's save the code, run code. See, we are getting here a message, John is 20 years old and height is this. Okay. Now here what we need to do, we need to do some formatting. First it will print name, then we need to have a space. So I will provide here a space. Then after is also I need a space, right? Then here I don't need a space because I have already provided it after is, right? Years old and height is, and after is also I need a space. Now if I run this code, now see we are getting it in a correct format. John is 20 years old and height is 6. Also here after age we can have a space because it's printing age in between, right? So here if I say run code, so we will get a message in our correct format. John is 20 years old and height is 6. So the main aim of this video was to learn how to declare a variables, how to assign values to variable, how to update the value. See, here we have declared it height as 6.0, but let's say you want to change it. Again, you can directly make use of this variable height, and then you can say, let's say 5.9. So now the updated value for the height will be 5.9, right? If I run this code, and then again we'll get the message here 5.9.